Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, Rick. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. Just a little bit about your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Sehlile Maphosa from Zimbabwe YMCA, based in the Bulawayo branch. I'm a branch coordinator for Bulawayo as well as the youth justice coordinator in the country.
What does it mean to be coordinating youth justice and to be also a branch coordinator?
It's a demanding job because I have to balance the youth justice as well as balance the other job description that is needed to be done. It's an interesting combination, although it's a bit strenuous in that you have to balance both the duties of the coordinator as well as the duties of the coordinator for the Youth Justice Project. So you need to balance your time so that both the roles are not affected.
Great. So, what's been your experience with youth justice? If you were to focus a little bit on the youth justice program.
I think the experience has been good. We started the Youth Justice in 2021. We went through the ideation, inspiration, ideation, and implementation workshop, the 3I, as a country. And then after going through that, the Bulawayo YMCA was then given a task to implement the Youth Justice Project.
What did implementing the youth justice project look like at the beginning of the 3I process?
I think at the beginning it was a bit confusing. We were not clear in terms of how to reach the young people in conflict with the law. Because we did not have any relationship with stakeholders that work with young people in conflict. So we had to establish those relationships with those stakeholders so that the key target is the one that benefits from the project. And that led us to having 55 groups that are not mainly the young people that are in rehabilitation centers, but young people in conflict in that they are operating without licenses, they are working in conflict wherever they are, whatever they are doing, but not really the ones in rehabilitation centers.
So tell me a little bit about the nature of those young people who are in conflict with the law. What was your experience? What was the intervention about?
The young people that we're working with are the ones that they lack skills in terms of working with the community as they interact with, they sell their products. Most of them, they don't have like vending licenses, so whatever they do, they'll be running away from the municipality police, and that makes them lose their ways as they do their work. So that way, the young people that we started working with. And then we integrated and identified young people that are in rehabilitation centers where we worked with young people from Percy Boston and young people from Luveve girls. Those are the girl offenders and the boy offenders. So we had to come up with projects for them. They identified poultry as one of the key projects that they could do while listed there in the rehabilitation centers. And then once they are released to the community, they then get some proceeds from there to start something out. And then we had to grow again and do cohort 6, that is cohort 6 and cohort 7. Cohort 7, we then identified, we were given a go-ahead from the Ministry of, from Zimbabwe Prison Department for us to work with the young people in prison. So we trained them in entrepreneurship, we trained them in financial literacy, where they are given skills in budgeting, skills in branding, skills in marketing. The idea is that once they are released, they are able to take their skills outside and then start whatever they are doing. Because even within the group, there were some that were already in business. Some were saying they were doing some car washes. Some were already doing some selling detergents. But now that they were in prison, those ventures are no longer there. So we are hoping that as they are released, we can actually work with them and then help them restart that again.
Okay, so thank you. There is something that you've mentioned before about when you would make pivots or you'd make switches. Like for example, and you've alluded to it, initially you started with at-risk youth and then you decided, why don't we work with young people who are in juvenile facilities? What informed that decision? Why did you decide to make that switch?
We were trying to come up with the really young person that we we identified when we did the design thinking workshop. So from all the other cohorts, we were working with them, but we're still feeling like they are not the really person that we still want to reach. So we decided let's just apply and get a go ahead to work with the prisons. And that was, it delayed a bit, but we are happy that we're given a green light to work with the prison. And we're getting so much support in terms of the patrons working closely and supporting us to make sure that the young people benefit.
So tell me a little bit about the patrons. We've talked about the patrons, and who are they, and what's their impact in the lives of these young people?
Okay. They are from different ministries. From Percy, Iposton, and Luveve, they are the patrons that are under Ministry of Social Welfare. So they are there, they work with the young people, they are providing like psychosocial support and ensuring that the young person comes back in terms of living a right life. And then the ones in prison are the prison officers. We are specifically working with the rehabilitation department. So they were saying their role is more like they also want to, they do the psychosocial, they also reach out to the young person in terms of behavior change. So the YMCA then comes in to be part of the stakeholders that is supporting that work. So as we reach out to those young people, we're kind of like complementing the efforts of the government. And it's working well, because when we go there, as much as we go there to support, we are also learning the new ways of helping the young person grow and leave criminality.
One of the things about the project is about giving soft loans, or let me call them collateral-free loans. So I'm curious to find out from you, what's your experience in terms of giving loans and percentage of repayment, just off the top of your head?
I think it's a 50-50. We have the young people that are getting the loans and then paying back as we agree. And then we have the young people that are getting the loans and then disappear. Because the young people are mobile. So when you try to find them, they either have located or relocated to somewhere else. So the rate of payment is, offhand, I think we are about 50%. But we have those that haven't paid. But we are happy that there are some that even if they haven't paid, they still come back to us to say, okay, I know I still haven't paid. I'm still around. I'll own up. I'll try to raise the money. So we also look and measure those that are coming back to ensure that we are aware they still are available. So we are hoping that even if they are not ready to pay, but they know that they have that responsibility somehow to ensure that their business succeeds, to ensure that they also pay up. Because the idea is that we're saying to them, you pay so that we help the nasty person as well.
Great. One of the things that I liked about speaking to you also earlier, you did mention about the fact that a lot of these young people, this is the first time anyone is offering them this kind of thing. And there were thoughts about, people would say it's witchcraft and stuff like that. What's been the community response to the project?
Okay. When we work with the young people, during the trainings on entrepreneurship and financial literacy, it's a 4-day training. So we train them, and then on the 4th day, we then involve the parents. So the parents come in for their graduation ceremony. So when we engage with the parents, we then also give the parents that overview of the project and also where we intend to go, so that they also understand and support the young person. So after the parents are then involved, we get to a point whereby we do home visits as well. Before the young person accesses the loans, we go and do home visits so that we have that bond with the young person and as well as their parents or guidance. So at the end of the day, we're saying, okay, if the young person fails to pay, maybe the parent will then encourage the young person to pay up. But we have that challenge whereby there are some parents that are discouraging the young people to get the money because they think that it's a scam. They think that is something that is satanic, because it's not common that organizations will just go there, give a young person loan without anything written down, like in terms of what will happen if I fail to pay and something like that. Yes, they sign like the participant the agreement forms in terms of how they intend to pay back, like all the other agreements that are done for financial security. So we have that challenge as well.
Okay, great. That's very interesting to learn. But in terms of now, back to your own capacity and or the design thinking process, what would you like to see going forward, and what would you recommend going forward?
I think going forward, we see the work is huge. Our work that we have started with the prison has actually shown us that there is more need than maybe what at the moment we are able to give. So because we are only focusing in 3 rehabilitation centers, and in prisons we are just in 1 prison. We are only in the Bulawayo prison, that is for men only. Our wish is, even if we don't scale much, we also go to the women side and also help the young women that are in conflict with the law, that are in prison. And we also look forward to say, probably we want to work with them post-release to say we are able to help them maybe build their life back and get back to focus their life and not offend again, because they are not able to fend for themselves, because they are not able to get employment. So the idea is for them to start something that will make them employ other young people as well, if possible.
Great. Any parting shots, any last thing you would like to say before leaving, before we finish the interview?
I think it's been a great involvement for the YMCA to work with young people in conflict with the law, and also to reach to the prisons. So it's something that we appreciate in terms of the government allowing us to work with them, because we feel like as the YMCA we have that responsibility to grow a young person, develop them, and also bond with them, so that at the end of the day we're really saying our mission is being fulfilled in terms of empowering the young person. So for us, this project is really helping us fulfill our mission as the YMCA in general.
Thank you very much, Sehlile. It's been lovely speaking to you.
Thank you.